Every hour of operation, an insurance company accumulates a massive, invisible asset that is now one of the most highly targeted commodities in the world. This asset is protected health information, or PHI. It is the raw data within the treatment histories and personal identities required to adjudicate and pay out every claim. Because insurers constantly route this sensitive data across internal networks and external providers, they have become the primary focus for cybercriminals seeking high-value targets. Processing health data has become a dangerous security liability, where a single mistake exposes the organization to immediate federal scrutiny and potential cyber extortion. This chart shows the average cost of data breaches by industry. In 2024, healthcare incidents reached an average of $9.77 million each, far exceeding any other sector in the global economy. Federal regulators enforce these standards through severe financial penalties. For violations involving willful neglect that remain uncorrected, fines in 2026 can reach $2,190,294 per violation per year. The financial hit is often followed by a mass exodus of policyholders. 85% of affected organizations report negative brand reputation impacts, directly causing significant member loss. Standard cybersecurity software can stop generic malware, but it cannot address the specific legal and regulatory vulnerabilities that destroy insurance companies. Insurance companies must operate within the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This mandatory federal framework dictates every aspect of data handling, regardless of a company's existing IT policies. Compliance is built on 3 mandatory rules. The privacy rule establishes standards for protecting patient records and mandates that staff only disclose the minimum necessary information required for a specific task. The security rule requires specific administrative, physical, and technical safeguards. This includes documented internal policies, secure facilities, and encryption for data both at rest and in transit. Finally, the breach notification rule requires a strict legal timeline for reporting exposed data to affected individuals and the Department of Health and Human Services. Failing to implement any one of these 3 pillars triggers immediate federal enforcement and liability, regardless of whether the organization intended to comply. Modern insurance depends on a supply chain of third-party vendors. Data is constantly moving between cloud hosts, claims processors, and record retrieval services. This exchange is governed by a business associate agreement, a contract that legally binds your vendors to the same HIPAA security and privacy standards you follow. Without this agreement, an insurance company assumes full legal responsibility if their vendor experiences a breach. Partnering with general technology providers who lack specialized, documented healthcare compliance creates a massive and unnecessary legal risk. Most federal violations result from preventable operational gaps, particularly when companies fail to conduct or update their mandatory risk assessments. Gaps such as missing employee training or using unencrypted portable devices automatically escalate a violation to willful neglect in the eyes of regulators. Under federal law, being unaware of your system's security vulnerabilities is punished with the same severity as the data breach itself. Building an in-house compliance team requires hiring specialized officers, purchasing risk assessment tools, and maintaining an expensive monitoring infrastructure that small to medium agencies often cannot sustain. Professional HIPAA-compliant IT services remove this burden by providing continuous monitoring, enterprise-grade encryption, and specialist knowledge in healthcare data protection. Organizations with these professional security measures and incident response teams reduce breach detection times by 40 days and lower the average cost of a breach by nearly $2 million. Utilizing these services is an effective financial strategy that prevents the massive legal penalties and recovery costs associated with non-compliance. Your policyholders trust you to handle their most sensitive personal information. Protecting that trust requires a level of security that cannot be left to chance or managed alone. JETT Business Technology provides the managed security and compliance-focused IT solutions required to safeguard your data and meet federal mandates. Specialized, compliant IT ensures data integrity and streamlines operations, providing the infrastructure necessary for long-term resilience and client trust.